What's happening, guys? Dan here, TD Speed Shop. As always, we're in a garage. I live out here working on the 66 Biscayne. Now, I want to have a bit of a fun video, but so far it's not going that way. I was doing a little screwing around on my own, just so instead of showing step by step everything I'm doing, just kind of like, hey, I got all this stuff done and carry on. So first thing I got taken care of was backup lights. I mean, all I needed to be taken apart, cleaned, put back together. Story of my life. I guess we'll go on this side. I started fitting the window. It's gonna be a fiasco. So when I got these doors, this door did not have a window crank, a door mechanism, or a handle. It did have glass, but it's missing like the elevator part, the regulator, all that is not there. And these windows are very strange. I did screw around. I put in a 4-door one. It's going to be a lot of modifications. This thing may end up with just a ratchet strap holding it up and snapping down. That's what race cars have, right? So we got that. The wipers and all that are working. Amazon showed up today. I got a universal washer kind of kit thing. If I have the old one. Oh yeah, this is the old one. It's a little fragile. Now, the way these things work, the wiper motor is also the squirter, and it's like a mechanical squirt type thing, versus this will just be a little electric pump. So what we're probably going to do, put this where it should be in the front here. Hopefully it's got some sort of a mounting bracket. So I don't think the other one had one, or I don't know where it is. And we'll simply run, run a new line to it, and then all I got to figure is which one of those wires triggers the squirting mechanism, and we'll change it to an electric pump versus mechanical, and everything will work the exact same because the switch on the dash, it's just a little knob, it works, and the push button works, so everything is mint. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. Man, people have been sending me stuff, and I always feel guilty about getting these things, but man, check this out. So Tommy, man, this guy's a rock star, sent me a cool air filter setup with a sticker on it. He sent some factory style valve covers, like a 427 or whatever would have had, and he also sent some 454 flags. What? Now, right as I was going to put those on, I checked the PO box, and man, someone sent me 427 flags. So I don't know what the heck to put on there. So that was Ken and Laura. Man, thanks. I appreciate you guys so much. So we got all that together. Last thing, I want to see if I can get the blower fan working. Now, it's a bit of a battle. It's on. I believe there's power there. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a hammer, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can just give it a knock. See if it'll free up. I'd really rather not have to take this apart. Well, that went from fun to probably a bit of a job. So I'll make sure there's power there, but if there is, the motor's probably just stuck, and unfortunately, it looks like it's ugly. Ugly to get to, but we've got to have heat. This is a daily driver. After giving that fan a beating, you know what the problem was? The electrical was not hooked up. It was just hanging down. I must have either it was unplugged, or maybe when I did the wiring, or I had it all apart, I unplugged that, which, you know what? I might have undone that, moved everything over, and I put the motor in. I forgot to put it back in. So, what do you think? We're going to get lucky here? Kind of awkward here. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Mean. All right, well, life's looking up already. I'm going to get that done. Maybe we should put the valve covers on, because those are fun. Let's do a fun thing. All right, I figured I'd show you guys what we're doing here. I like rubber gaskets. If you're a cork guy, hey, I accept you. Now, what I like to do is a little weather stripping adhesive just around here. Hopefully I'm getting in camera. I gotta watch what I'm doing here. I'm gonna probably do this two hands. I'm just gonna show you. We'll show you the theory behind it. But run your little around there. It has these little tabs, fit in the valve cover, stamp it in, let it sit for a few minutes, it'll hold it. Now, let's look at the fun stuff. Man, that looks good. Ken and Laura, if you want me to give it to somebody else or you want it back, let me know. I'll pass it on or I'll keep it for next project. Whoo-wee, those valve covers. I got one on. As much as I like the big Moroso, that's race car stuff, this is just like factory mint. So we got that. Oh, and check this out. We got the fan. Oh, I got seat belts, man. I'm all over the place. Huh? So a couple of lap belts. It's all about safety here. Oh, let's just get in here. It's got like, it's like medium, high. Does that have like a low? Oh yeah, low works. And then this actually works so it goes from floor to dash. Man, this thing is just like working out. So I'm gonna slap that valve cover together, whoops, real quick. Maybe we'll come around and we'll drill out the fender for the badge. I was just watching Cold War Motor Scott. He spent like all this time with like tape and all that stuff. I'm just gonna guess. Burp, 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 burp. You can't see both sides at once, and it looks cool with the badges on versus no badges. So it's a win. Okay, so we're gonna put these badges on. So step one, because they're brand new, I always like to run these, whatever they are, these nuts to kind of cut some threads into the badge real quick. It's easier, I think, doing that in your hand than when you're trying to get them started on the backside, because they come just dead smooth. So now we got some threads in there. We're ready to go. Now, jam it all. I did a pretty scientific measuring. I went the other one, I just kind of put my finger on it. And as it turns out, I fluked it. It was my second knuckle down and my second knuckle over. So, second knuckle down. So something about like that. And then as far away as I can, straight. Oh, mark the top. Oh, this is kind of a crappy marker. The marker. This is exactly how Cold War Motors did it. He didn't do measuring or any sort of taping or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and just kind of eyeball it, drill it right below that little mark. Now this is just the sample hole. This is an 1/8 inch bit. There, yeah, we're making progress here. Canadian Tire's finest bits. So now we got our pilot holes. We're going to switch to the proper size. And by proper size, I mean a little bit too big. Let's see how we did here. Well, they almost all line up. So we'll jam her out. You don't want to overthink these things. Okay, so we bunged up the top ones. I don't know what happened there, but I got the fix for it right here. Whoops. And bam. Got a little added patina while we were at it, and we'll go ahead and put the nuts in the back installed. I think I was going to leave it. I got the seat. Oh, actually, I'll show you the seat belts. I put them in. I got the one side done. We even got the right color. Ooh, brand new belts. So we're safe. I can't find my test light, believe it or not, in this garage of organization. So I'm kind of struggling a little bit trying to get the washer tank going. I think it's really for a night. Tomorrow, try and butcher that glass together, scuff the side down, linseed oil it, and I don't know, whatever else I have to do. Man, short list though, we're getting there. I want to drive it, today is Wednesday, and I want to drive this thing the weekend. Okay, everything is prepped down. I might have to do another, well, it's still wet, I guess. We'll see. We'll let this dry overnight. And I gotta wash this thing again. It's just so covered in junk. It's unbelievable. I want to clean the glass real good now. It's all together, clean out the wheels, do all that. We'll give the whole car a coat of linseed oil tomorrow. We'll get on the doors. I would like to make these into door panels, at least on the passenger side. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. How much screwing around I should do versus trying to hold out and find the proper thing down the road, which I think might be the way to go. It's the end of the year. I just like to drive this thing a little bit. So if we have to have an old school ratchet strap, just kind of holding it up like an old race car, so be it for the time being. And then, yeah, put some miles on the old girl. So I'm going to bed. We'll wash it tomorrow. Start putting her together. All right, so where we left it, I was sanding this thing down with a Scotch-Brite pad, and now, what? Looks just fine. Man, the color sure looks different there, but we got all together. Now, the next thing we're gonna battle is, well, actually, I hooked up the squirters. Is it working? No. Must have a leak. Destroy my life. We got the glass in, it ain't gonna fit good. This mechanism is not what I want to deal with. There'll be a lot of welding and screwing around versus just find the proper one. So for the time being, we're gonna go ahead and do NASCAR style windows and just put it on a strap. It's just gonna be the one on the driver's side, which, let's be honest, it's either up or it's down. Oh yeah, no, it's that's our problem. Whatever, one thing at a time. So I went out and got some sweet ratchet straps. All I had was green, so you know, whatever. This is the old door panel we're gonna use as a template. So we're gonna trace it out. And again, like I said, these Chevys, they sell this part, but this metal part you have to keep with the car. So luckily I have both those. So probably just gingerly, this has been sitting aside for 30 years. So it basically will fall apart. I'll trace that. I'll then reattach it to this with a little bit of glue. And then I don't know where I put the fabric. We'll put that on. I think I'm gonna go double thick on this one because it's got quite a bit of material. So I'll put 2 sheets of that on one of these, and we'll go ahead and screw it on. Then this will be screwed onto the bottom. The strap will run up, around, and then you'll just kind of pull it up and release it down. It'll be that's some hot rod stuff right there. It's junk, I know, but until I find the proper handle, I'm not screwing around. It's the end of the year, and I want to drive this thing, and I want the window up so we can enjoy the heat inside. I have the feeling this is just going to fall right apart. Man, interior stuff is a nightmare. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, put panels in. I'm with you. I checked. A, they're not cheap. I don't know if any of you guys have tried to do interior panel stuff lately. 6-month wait. 6 months. So a combination of time and I'm broke means it's not gonna happen. So, oh, look at that. So this is definitely a double thickness thing, but this, we should be able to use as a pretty close template, and we can use it one way for one side and the other side for the other. Mirror image. So let's get that coroplast out, start tracing. Well, 2 pieces glued together. Clean this up, that was a dirty job. Yikes. But pretty simple. So on the factory one, you kind of stamp these into the cardboard. There's little like feet on them, and it only goes on whatever that is, 3/4 of an inch or something like that. So we're gonna do the same thing, give it a, whichever way is up, I think it's this side. Stamp it on there, and then, yeah, carry on. A little bit of glue, and once that sets up, we'll come back, wrap it, we gotta drill some holes. This thing's going pretty quick. So there we have it, a pile of glue. And I just went over every one of these little tacks with a pair of kind of bodywork and vice grips, snapped it all in, so it seems pretty decent. We'll let this kind of, I guess maybe the glue's kind of tacked up. So we should be fine. Should be able to double check it on the car, assuming that's good. We'll cover the thing with some foam, and then a little bit of material. Some staples, a little glue, be perfect. Okay, so we got mostly all together. I tested it on the car, it looks okay. Definitely a top piece, doesn't snap into cardboard as well as it does this coroplast. But hey, once it's all kind of together, it'll be fine. A few staples, we'll fix all of it. Danny picked up some fluff yesterday for me. That's the technical term for it. So I already have the glue on there. And I learned the last time, I glued the fluff to the back, but not the actual material to anything, because then it got all goofy when I tried to pull and staple it. So let's get this in there, just kind of hold it in place, get it trimmed up, and then we should be able to flip it on its backside and get the vinyl going. So pretty quick, easy, and probably wrong. Where did I put my scissors? So this material, it was extra cheap. A bunch of it was like 40 bucks. So I'm just gonna glue the back side of it on. Now the one issue I'm gonna run into, the metal bit at the top, I don't quite know how I'm gonna fasten that yet, but we'll get the bottom on first. So that there is a very plain door panel, but a couple holes in it. It'll look just fine. I got a bunch of clamps on it holding everything together. This top originally had big staples in it, so I don't know what we're gonna do about that, but that's a future Dan problem when he gets real door panels. In the meantime, this is good. I'm gonna trim it, and then just like the excess here, all the glue's kind of set up. We'll hang it. We'll cut our little holes for the all the mechanisms, and we should be able to put it in there. And oh, before I do that though, I should make sure I can get a hold of this window somehow. That'll be next. So this is where we're at. So way back in the day, Dodge did this. I think they use seat belts for like the lightweight Hemi race cars. And instead of having the window cranks and all that, they'd have like a strap holding up the window. So I thought, hey, D Speed Shop wants to do the same thing. So we're on the hunt, obviously, for a window crank, but this is good for now. So pretty simple. I welded a bar right there across to the two braces, and we have a simple ratchet strap, which this is the Mark I version. I welded a washer on the inside of this. It got a little on the hot side and it caught fire. So the other one, we got that, trimmed it off. So let's just put this right there. So the way it's gonna work, pretty simple. This will be anchored. I'll probably cut the strap off and anchor it somewhere here. And all you'll have to do is simply loosen that. Just a little bit of love. And she'll go right down. And that's that. And then, I mean, this can come right out or just be loose. You have to then, pull it back up, which again needs a little bit of love, but she'll be just fine. Gentle, gentle. This window here, because it goes at an angle, it gets all kind of jammered. So I definitely need to find the proper stuff, but that's good enough for me anyways. And then over here, door panel's kind of, well, door paneling. I might have used a little bit too much jam on some of the vice grips, but it just adds a little bit of patina and a little bit of character to it. So on the back side here, we just gotta slice out the holes for the window crank. Well, I guess not really. Well, did I leave the window crank? No, I took the window crank out. But for the wing window crank and the door handle, cut 2 holes there. We'll slap this thing on there, put a couple screws at the bottom. There's some screws in the door. We're gonna try and just reuse those for now. These at the bottom. I'll peel those out. And then the factory had these little pins that would go in, so I don't think I'm gonna do that just yet. It'll be on there kind of floppy. I'll see how it's gonna work. The door handle, which probably will go into there and there. We'll hold it in the bottom, and then again, we'll have this somewhere. I didn't think about it, but it's gonna go right through the door handle. That was smart, Dan. But I guess we could put it up here maybe. We'll figure it out. But it'll hold itself on. It might be a little loose front and back, but we can always put some screws or whatever we have to do in there. I assume this is going to come off a few times with my window crank design, but you never know. And then we'll finish that side up, clean this thing up, and be done for the night. Doors down, it got cold, and it's getting late. I'm not gonna lie, it actually looks not bad. I mean, it's very plain. I need to get some longer, I used to use self-tappers, ones I have weren't quite long enough, so I got one just kind of barely hanging in there. But here's the idea. You know, this might be a two-hand operation. Just hang out there in the car. But, come on. Man, this thing gets all bunged up. This may not be my smartest idea. Oh, there we go. Might just need a little lube. So there we go, that's that. Pretty simple. And then going up is really easy. Going down, I think it's just getting bunged up on the track. So you kind of put it up where you want it there. Oh, I got my t-shirt in the glass. Man, this is amateur over here. Give her a little tug through. Whoops. There you go. I don't know. It's definitely race car-y. This thing is definitely front heavy. Oh, whatever. And ultimately it is adjustable any way you want. So I gotta figure out, probably that's about as much strap as we need. I'll cut it just so you can kind of grab it. I'll cut that off at the bottom, burn it so it doesn't fray. And then it needs a couple of proper screws in there. Handles on, obviously there's no window handle, and then a crank. All I have, I gotta find a small one. I have a large one, which it will work, but it'll just look goofy. So, not bad. I just put one screw at the bottom. The door does open and close. I have a couple more screws I can put in there, but I wanted to make sure the window was 100% dialed before it goes. Man, that worked out friggin' mint. Okay, let's jump through the other side. I might just have to glue it together tonight and put it together tomorrow on my own. But yeah, man, this thing is like coming together. The old GoPro got a little hot there, but the door opens and closes, so that's always a good sign. I mean, boring, does its job. I gotta wipe it all down and make it look pretty decent, but yeah, interior is pretty much put together on this thing. I think it's, I don't know, once I kick it a few times and little size 13 rubbed in there, it probably helped. The top being a different color on the back would have been nice to have on the door cars, but you know what, it's probably cost me a total of, I'm gonna say $40 and one night worth of work. I'm gonna call it a win. Now, as per usual, I've made all the mess. I'm gonna try and get up early, get this thing out and clean it up tomorrow so I can finish off the video maybe outside, see what this paint looks like once it's all shined up, get a fence put in tomorrow. Though, man, it's just, the construction around here has been really pushing back on the videos, so hopefully I can get that dialed together while they're not working too much and finish it up. After that, we have emergency brake. I want to paint in the wheel wells because there's overspray with red, so I want to get those all done with some undercoating. There's a few other things I want to do under there, but short list, and we're driving this thing. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, there we have her. I moved her around to the B-list shop there because they're doing a bunch of construction next door there. But yeah, she's a different color. Man, this thing looks good there. Love me a big block Chevy. Literally no better motor as far as I'm concerned. Something's making noise. Either it's the exhaust collector, or maybe that lifter is not doing good. I don't know, something's clickety clackety. But not enough miles in this thing to really decide. It's got good oil pressure. No issues there. Hopefully the camshaft's not flattening itself out to nothing, but next week we'll figure out with a few more miles put on it. Everything is dialed together. Unfortunately, I did chop the muffler off and I forgot that the back hanger is still up, so it's dragging. I gotta deal with that. But we'll put it back in the garage, and we've got e-brake to deal with. Delete that muffler, go through the brakes, make sure everything's all dialed together. I gotta track down a windshield. A few little odds and ends. Oh, I want to get in all the wheel wells, undercoat them, seam seal. I haven't done any of the seam sealing on the inside of my back panels of the trunk repair. But that should be all stuff that's very doable. It smells a little bit like burning oil, but it could just be the fact that it's running and hasn't been for a while. I did take it for a little cruise around the block. And it was very slow, but got up to temperature, everything works. I'm really liking this car. But that's it for now. Buy yourself a big block Chevy. Everybody needs one. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, do me a favor. Subscribe below. Tell a friend. Leave a comment. All those things. And, oh, after you linseed oil a car, don't do a bunch of work that involves fluff, because it gets all over everything. It's like a magnet for dirt. Lesson learned for next time. See you later.